Okay, feet hip distance apart. Pull a tummy in and let's shoulder roll. Up, back and down. Breathing in to lift and out to lower. And one more. Breathing in to lift and out to lower. Come into the pelvis, grip the hips, soften the knees and start to move through pelvic tilt. So tucking the tail under, drawing the belly button in, softening down the tailbone. Just keep that moving. I'll just tip my screen a little bit there. And one more. And then just find neutral halfway. Pull up through the thighs. Let's have a side bend. So sliding down on one side, drawing up on the other side. So just waking up all the major joints in the body. Let's reach the arm away. So working into the lower back, lumbar spine, into shoulders. Couple more. And then standing tall, coming into the upper back, shoulders relax. Breathe in, breathe out, rotate, hips are forward. If possible, come center, inhale, exhale, rotate. Good. Couple more. And the last one. Good. Coming center, feet a little bit closer together. Fingers to temples, lifting the rib cage, soften the knees. Across to the corner of the ceiling, breathing in. Breathing out, coming back. Drawing the belly button in. Trying to keep the hips still. So can we have a little squeeze into the glutes, pulling the belly button in, breathing in to drop, and out to lift. Couple more. Down and then just rotate full length of the spine there. Good. Let's have a look at balance. So feet fairly narrow, small split of your stance. Let's come up onto the toes. So spread the toes first and then balance up on the balls of the feet there. Come on down, sway back, pick up the toes. Lengthening up, breathing in. Breathing out, coming down, swaying back. Lengthen up, breathe in. Breathing out, coming down. Just one more on this foot, please. And relax. Split the other way. Spread the toes. Squeeze the glutes, tummy in. Forward we go and lift. Pressing into the big toe. Picking the toes up to stretch the calf. One more time. Everything a shake. So progressing the balance, standing on the left leg, right leg forward, lift and flex and point. Wrists as well. Tighten up the buttock on the left and pull the tummy in. Rotate. So focus is straight ahead to help you balance. Pick something to look at. Go the other way. relaxing, changing legs, forward and lift, flex and point. Rotate. Other way. And relax. Give everything a good shake there. Good. Hands behind the back. Let's split the stance again for hip hinge. Soften the knees, lengthen the spine. Forward we go. Pulling the tummy in, breathing in on the way down. And breathing out on the way up. Let's keep that moving. Breathing in on the way down with the back flat. Chest is open. Shoulders are drawn together. So trying to keep the spine long. So we want the head to stay just slightly higher than the shoulders. Make sure the knees are soft, not locked. Should be feeling it mainly up the hamstring of the front leg. One more here. Good. Change legs. Split stance, not too wide. Knees soft. Long spine. Inhaling to tip. Exhaling to return. Good. Couple more on this side. Switch my fan on. And then once you've done that last one, come on up. Give those arms and legs a shake and pick up your band for me, please. So coming into tightrope feet now, challenging that balance a bit more if we can. Tail tucked, tummy in. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, pulling into waiter. We want the elbows to stay bent and tucked in. So your band, depending on what strength it is, then your elbows might come away a little bit, but we also want the band just to slacken off on the way in. So you don't want your hands too close together. Two more here. And last one. Relax, wide overhand grip, change feet. Floating up, maintaining neutral spine. So watch the ribs, keep them down. We want this nice and loose to start. Just mobilizing that full range through the shoulders. Coming a little bit closer together with the hands now. If the shoulders have eased off, if they haven't, then just stay wide. And just doing one more there. Relax, release the shoulders, and then get rid of that band for me, please. So let's pick up our weights and let's go squat squat shoulder press. So feet shoulder width, spread the toes. Hip hinge, come down into squat. Curl up, into shoulder press with or without a heel raise. Now just ease into this because it's the first squat of the day. So you might be feeling a bit creaky in the knees. So just gradually sitting back, not putting too much pressure on the kneecap there. Two more, please. Nice steady breaths, staying engaged through that core and squeezing the glutes as you push up. Good, coming down, transfer the weight to the right leg, pick up the foot, bicep curl. Out on the upward phase, breathing in on the downward phase. You've got two more here. Stepping down, can we turn the weight as though it's a barbell curl, but separate them, shift the weight and lift, and then curl here. So just working through the biceps in a slightly different way. Now, any kind of shoulder, wrist or elbow pain, then obviously just turn them around and go back to hammer curl. Got 4 to go. Breathing out on the way up and in on the way down. Last 2. Last one. Good. Give them a shake. Get rid of the weights, please. Bring in your hog. So we're going to go spiky side up first. So let's just look at releasing through the feet. Start with your heel. Press on and off. Roll through into the arch of the foot. Get all your body weight on it if your foot allows. If it's really uncomfortable, then just put half the weight on it. Coming into the balls of my feet and my toes. And then going back to the heel. So as much weight as you can manage, gradually creep in from the back to the front of the foot. And then sides of that foot, so inner and outer sides of the foot. So as we do that, obviously we're releasing the foot, but we're also mobilizing into the sides of the ankle and the knee. And then we'll change to the left foot. Start with the heel, and if all is well, then you can lift all of the body weight onto that foot. So coming into the arch, the ball, and through to the toes. Then starting again with the heel and working my way through the foot. And a little bit less weight as I come into the sides of the feet. So really go for your ankle and your knee to move laterally, but we've got to be careful if there's anything going on in that joint there. And then we'll step all the way up top, just pad the feet about a little bit, and then settle with a neutral pelvis and soft knees. So thumbs in the breastbone for rotation. Inhale. Exhale, rotate to the right front corner, keeping your nose in line with your fingertips. Come center, inhale. Trying to isolate the upper thoracic spine. So the only part of the spine that's moving is about bra strap level there. So the head and neck are not moving independently, they're just pivoting on that point. Thumbs are staying in the breastbone. Coming center, pushing the arms forward, hand to hip, pulling back, looking over the shoulder, opening the chest. Reaching forward, breathing in. Breathing out, pulling back, turning the head. Breathing out to pull. Breathing in to reach. Let's keep that moving. Last one there, and then relax. Let's have a calf stretch. So leave your left foot where it is, ball of the right foot on top, and drive that heel down. So it might touch the floor, it's better if it's slightly off the floor. Watch the hip hasn't poked out, so get yourself square in the centre, tuck your bottom under, keep the rib cage lifted. And then bend that back knee if you can. So your weight is in the back, so we're challenging the balance, but also down into that Achilles tendon there. And then come on up and change. So right foot is flat, ball of the left foot on top, driving the heel down. So I'm going to come around this way so you can see me. Watch that your bum's not pushed back and your hips not move to the side. So come nice and square, lift the rib cage, feel you've got weight down in that back leg. And then bend both knees, tuck the tail under. Draw the belly button in, hold. Come on up. And off the back. Go, give those feet a shake. Turn your hug over, please. So it rocks forward and back. Come into the middle. And we're going to squat right and left. So in your own time, step down, squat. Weight dead center. Come on up and change. So the leg that's on the hug is working harder, but the weight remains in the center. The hips push back, we breathe in to sit back, and we breathe out to come up. Keep going for me, please. So if you need to stay with squat, stay with squat. If you can progress that, we'll go into a single lunge. So it's both knees bending, as slow as you like. Watch the leg doesn't twist. Both knees pointing the same way. We're still hinging from the hip, so don't try to keep your spine vertical. Hinge, sit back so we get into the glutes. So we're going to do 3 or 4 more. We'll finish on a left step. So I've got 2 to go. Going to finish with my left leg back. And then I'm coming up and I'm pedaling my feet. So feet together, step back, small amount on one foot, hamstring stretch, chest down, buttocks lifted, hands on the bent leg, rock the hug, backwards and forwards. Uncurl, change legs, foot in the middle, hinge, chest down, lift buttocks, rock, the hug. Uncurl the spine. Brill. Give everything a shake. Let's pick our weights back up. So we're going to do roll down using our weights. If you feel like that's too much stress on your back, then do it without your weights. So just going to come into the shoulders first. Weight is on the thigh. I'm going to open my chest and inhale. I'm going to round my shoulders and exhale. Open, inhale. Round, exhale. Let's have one more, then start to roll a bit deeper. Opening, breathing in. Breathing out, rounding. Now, just continue to breathe naturally as you roll to just below your knees with the weights. Take a breath in. Breathe out, roll up. If that feels like too much stress on your back, get rid of the weights. Opening, breathing in. Breathing out, rounding. And then just breathing naturally as I roll towards my shin. So shin height I'm holding. Breathing in. Breathing out, rolling up slowly. Opening the chest. Breathing in. Breathing out. Head leads the way, coming to ankle height. Holding here. Breathing in. Breathing out, squeezing the glutes, pulling the belly button in as I roll up. Opening, breathing in. Breathing out. Rolling all the way down. If it feels okay to put your weights to the floor, get a bit of traction on your spine, go there. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Stay there, look through the legs. Couple more breaths there if you can. And then squeeze the glutes, brace the abs, and roll up. And stand tall. Good. So your back should be nice and loose now. Let's get rid of our weights. And let's go into our roll down downward dog. So tip your screen now and put your mat down, and then we know we can come straight to the floor when we're ready. So gather all your bits, grab a drink if you need one. And so when you're ready, arms are coming up, extending, breathing in. Breathing out, lowering down. Nodding, grounding and rolling. Go back to where we were before. Hands on the floor. Head down. Looking through the legs. So staying there. Just turn this music down a switch. From there, if you want to roll back up, roll back up. If you're ready to walk forwards, then please walk forwards into downward dog. Transfer the weight back, and then either hold the stretch if that's what feels good for you, or pedal your feet if that's what feels good. From here, come forward into plank, and then we hold on the hands or the elbows, on the toes or the knees. I'm going to drop to my knees now for press up. Feel free to do full press up if you're feeling that way out, and feel free to go wide with the hands if you're not good with that narrow press up. So my toes are going back under, and I'm pressing back through my downward dog. And again, if it feels good to hold that a bit longer, then hold a bit longer. I'm going to walk in and roll up. So we're now just going through this at our own pace, spending as little or as much time in each of those positions as feels correct perfect for you. So some positions you just feel you want to stay a little bit longer there. Maybe the spine stretch, maybe the downward dog. Probably don't want to hang about too long in plank and press up. So we'll keep that moving slowly. Thinking about the breathing, thinking about the core engagement as we go. Good. So we're going to do at least one more round of everything, and it will finish on the floor. So once you've done your final plank or press up, we will go into cat stretch or shell stretch. So finish off your round. Make sure you've got all your equipment there, and then let's just roll through flexion and extension if that feels good. If your back is not happy with extension, you are just going flexion and neutral. So this should be relatively pain-free. And then coming back to neutral, sitting back into shell stretch. You can have your arms in front, behind or under the head. You might want to circle your wrists. Hands to the side of the knees, support the body weight and uncurl. So coming forward onto all fours for thread the needle. So rotation. So as it's our first exercise here, you might want to do it without equipment, but if you want to add a weight or a dumbbell or a band, that's okay. So my back is flat, my left leg is out, my toes are under, my left knee is locked. Got weight in this left arm. Arm extending, looking up, opening chest, breathing in. Coming down, threading the needle. So you want as big a rotation as your spine allows, without losing your balance and without your pelvis moving. You might have a small amount of movement in the pelvis. We don't want it to twist, so we want those hips pointing to the floor. Avoid sitting back into the bent leg. Keep the weight forward into the left arm. Just going to do one more on this side. Once you've finished all fours, maybe you want a little stretch, maybe you want to release your wrists. And then we'll set it up on the other side, square position. Right leg out to the back, hips stacked, weight in the right arm. Opening, looking up, inhaling. Exhaling, coming down, threading the needle. Good. So make sure your right elbow stays soft as you open. We don't want to lock the joint. And then ear coming close to the floor on the thread needle if you can. But only if you can get your weight forward. No good doing it sitting back. So maintain the core engagement by keeping the weight forward. Nice big full range of movement. Eyes are following hand. Breathing in as we stretch. Breathing out as we thread through. This is our last one. down, little release of the spine, so go to cat and hold, and then back into shell stretch, and hands wherever you want. Bringing the hands to the side of the knees, supporting the body weight, uncurling the spine. Good, coming down to seated position. Taking the feet wide and just relaxing forwards over the legs. So a couple of breaths here as the back releases. Uncurling the spine. Brill, ball goes behind you. Weights nearby, use a cushion if you like. If you feel like your abs and your back are strong, you might not need a ball at all. So digging the heels in, just gonna have a little roll back, make sure I'm lined up. And then I'm going up, inhaling. Exhaling, scooping and rolling, bow and arrow. Coming forward, breathing in. Breathe out, scoop and roll, bow and arrow. So although we're loading the abs, make these first set long and slow so that we're stretching in between all of those joints. Rolling on and off the bum bones and the tailbone. Just one more here. So see that last one through, then come forward and have a stretch again. Uncurl the spine. Brill. Okay, bringing those feet in again. One dumbbell, working more now on strength. So we've got shoulder press, scoop, roll and land. Elbows tucked in as the shoulders and the head turn for 4, 3, 2, 1. So it'll work best if you still keep it slow. Focus on engaging those abs, turning the shoulders. Last set. Coming forward, taking feet wide, and then relaxing over the legs. Holding there, breathing into the back of the rib cage. Uncurling. Brill. Come on down onto your back. Get some head support from a ball or a cushion if you want it. Sorry, just get the head block. So coming down, hugging the knees in and having a good circle of the hips and the pelvis there. And the other way. And then feet to the floor, knees together. Arms out to the side, palms up. Rolling the hips slowly. Right and left. Breathing in on the way down. And out on the way up. So that can be quite a big roll. Shoulders stay down. Coming up to center, let's hug the knees in. From here, let's have a nice slow single leg stretch, dropping low to the floor to open the hips. So for your first few, just focus on stretching through the hip there, really lengthening away with one leg and pulling in on the other leg. And then if that feels good, stay with it. Otherwise, you can lift your head and shoulders and then coming more into the abdominals. But still go for that nice slow low leg if you can. Into rotation if that feels good. Or holding your head in the center, taking care not to take the chin to the chest. Hardest option, rotation, fingers to temples. Now the hardest option's not always the best. You might feel better holding in the center and loading the abs. So choose yours. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming in and down. Full body stretch, please. Arms overhead, allowing the back to arch. Push the heels away, pull the toes back, open the palms, stretch the fingers and just breathe into the diaphragm. Bring your arms back and draw your legs back in slowly. Have your feet the width of the mat, arms out to the side, please. Open knee hip roll. Focus is on the leg that's dropping through the middle, internally rotating, so a deep rotation. Hopefully you get a stretch in that hip flexor as you do that. And so let's have one more on either side, and we want to finish that to the left. So coming center, so we're going to do clam on our back today. So we're going to do it with a hog under the pelvis if we can. Spiky side of the hog under the pelvis. If you think that's going to be uncomfortable, do it on a cushion or do it on the floor. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but good for pelvic stability. So please watch that your back's not arched or dipped. I'm going to take my head block away. So I've got neutral spine. Check my ribs aren't winging up. Hands are at the side of the hog. I'm going to lift my hips up. My knees up to tabletop. Please make sure you've not rolled in. Tailbone is down. From here, just rotating into one leg for clam and then the other. Have a look at your other leg. Make sure it's not moving. You might even want to place your hands on your thighs or on your pelvis. So check that only one leg is moving at a time. Also check your pelvic stability. Now, think about combining the movement with the breath. So you breathe out as the knee rotates. Good. And then ask yourself if it can go further. Can you push it a little bit further? Now, engage your abdominals, and also, guys, can you pull up on your pelvic floor on that out breath? So switch the pelvic floor on. Great position to work pelvic floor. If all is well, rotate the knee and let the feet come apart. Now, you can hold on to your hips to do that, or you can take your fingertips to the ceiling. So we rotate the knee first, then when it's as far as it'll go, we let the feet come apart. So try not to make it one movement, try to make it two. It's a rotation of the knee and then the leg drops. You can drop your opposite arm away, but if that's too many things happening, focus on the rotation of the hip, the pulling up of the pelvic floor, breathing out as we rotate. So I'd like you to give me one or two more. Now, we started this on the right knee, so we'll finish this on the left knee. So take your time, and once you've finished your last rotation, bring your feet and arms down. Let's go into either a full body or a starfish stretch across the hug there, and release the hip flexors. Allow your back to arch. So now we want the abdominals to lengthen, so rib cage can flare, and then we'll breathe into the diaphragm. Breathing slowly. Bringing the arms over, drawing the legs in, taking that hug away, perhaps putting something back under your head if you want it, and then let's hug the knees and circle the pelvis. Both directions. And then just to release the hip from that last exercise, hold on to the ankles and press back on the inner thigh. So hold it there, pressing back with the elbow. And relax. Good. Coming into corkscrew next. Can you put your ball or your hug between your knees or your feet and squeeze? Again, we don't want the bum to lift. Make sure knees are over hips. Hands are on the rib cage. We're dropping 45 degrees to the right, breathing in. Breathing out to come to center. 45 degrees to the left. So think about squeezing the ball or the hug. Get that connection through the inner thigh. Toes can go to the ceiling if that's better, more challenging. Still make sure you're pressing against it to connect through the legs. I'm going to take my hands up. I'm going to go arms one way, legs the other way. I'm going to keep my shoulders on the floor. So I'd like you to give me 2 or 3 more. finishing with legs to the left. So nice and slow for those last few. Feeling that connection through the abs and the inner thighs, and relaxing. Good. Get rid of that ball. And then just do what feels good there. Might feel good to do some pelvic tilt, so you might want to stretch, hug or roll. I'm going to do some pelvic tilts. And then coming back up to the seated position. Roll onto one side to come up if you need to. We're going to do full roll back. We're going to start with our band. So if you're happy without your band, that's fine. I always like to just give myself a little test first. My feet are hip distance apart, my heels are dug in. I'm up on my bum bones, scooping and rolling, coming down slowly. Aim to take at least 3 breaths in and out to get there. And then fully relax and aim to take at least 3 breaths to come back up. So my back feels okay. I'm going to straighten my legs. You don't have to. So your progression might be to straighten your legs, or it might be to get rid of your band. It might be both. So I want you to think about pausing for a moment at the top and relaxing for a moment at the bottom. So we fully release in between each one. I'm going to take my band in my hands. Guys, you could do this with a dumbbell if you wanted to. I'm going to go shoulder stretch, forward flexion. Let my back stretch for a second or two. I'm going to come halfway down and go back to that strength position I was in before with 4 rotations. And then I'm going to continue all the way down. I'm going to pause and relax for a second at the bottom. Bring myself back up slowly. So always at least 3 breaths to roll up and roll down. Keep that moving. Let's just go back to a little bit of faster music. There we go. So we're going to do a couple more sets with our band or our dumbbell. Got several positions there, so you might find you need to stay in one of them more than the other. Might want to take some of them out. Your back might not like the rotation without the support. Let's keep moving until you finish your last one, and that's going to be in the seated position. And then either come to slump stretch, or if your hips allow it, you can cross leg, forward fold. So come into a position that you feel relaxed in. Uncurl your spine. Great. Let's come down onto the back and let's set ourselves up for triceps. So we want our weights for this one. Maybe some head support. So I'm pushing up, knuckles are on the outside. relax your shoulders down into the mat. Get them square, make sure they're not rounding off the floor. So it's a single or double tricep press. And then you might just want to lift one leg from the floor. You might be happy with your legs in tabletop and your spine imprinted. So then we've started to add load to the abs. Arms moving single or double. So you can go opposite arm to leg. That can be with a single leg stretch. It can be with a bent knee toe tap if the back's not great. So play about with what works for you here. I'm doing double tricep and a single straight leg stretch. You might want a different combination. As long as you're loading the abs and the tricep, that's fine. Can you think about what's happening with the elbows? Have a look at them. Are they pointing to the ceiling? Not widening and winging out, otherwise that's just going to go into shoulder. Lovely. Let's just have 2 more. And 1 more. And then relax. And then just do what feels good there. I'm going to go for a nice big starfish stretch. I'm going to let my back arch and my ribs flare. You might want a knee hug, pelvic tilt. We're just going to have some breaths here. Start to think about everything relaxing. I'm going to bring my arms over and draw my legs in. And then I'm going to take the band around the sole of my right foot. I'm going to pull my elbows down and slide my bottom leg out along the floor. Taking a breath in, breathing out, drawing the whole leg towards me, pushing my tailbone down. So the legs as straight as you can comfortably get it. Now go to your first point of tension. Ask yourself if it can come in a little bit further safely. And then flex and point the foot. Flex and hold, heel is up. Hopefully your hamstring has eased off a bit. Take a breath in, and on the out breath, see if you can draw that whole leg closer to you. Push your tailbone down. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. From there, let's just go into sway or circle. One hand or two. So I'm going to have a sway and then a circle with my band in both hands. And then I'm going to have a sway and a circle with the band just moving over to my right hand and then my left. So I'm going to go through all of the different ranges of movement. Have a little check of how my hips and my lower back are feeling. And if I find any part that's particularly tight, just going to stay there and work on it. And then relax. Go change legs, please. So pulling my elbows down, relaxing my shoulders, sliding my bottom leg away, taking a breath in, Breathing out, drawing that leg in. So I've come to my first point of tension. Feel like I could make my band a bit tighter. So I'm going to pull in and hold. Push my tailbone down. And then I'm going to flex and point slowly. So as big a range of movement as I can manage there through the ankle. All the time trying to get the back of the knee as straight as I comfortably can. Sometimes it's just too tight there to straighten, but as long as you feel it lengthening. Holding in the flexed position, taking one more breath in, breathing out, pulling the whole leg closer. Still pushing the tailbone down. Softening the back of the knee. I'm going to try sway or circle in two hands. And then I'm going to try sway or circle just in one hand. Oh, this left one's feeling a bit tighter than the right one today. Normally it's the other one. So they're never the same on any given day. Just depends what you did the day before, how you slept, how long you've been out of bed. I'm going to come back up to center, slip my foot out of the band, and then rolling over onto all fours, please. So from here, tuck the pelvis under to a cat stretch, and can we just stay there? Really stay there, pull the belly button up, tuck the tail, let everything stretch. And then making sure your hands and feet are on the mat. Coming to downward dog. Giving your feet a little bit of a pedal. Walking the hands in slowly. Uncurling the spine. Standing tall. Stretching up, inhaling, exhaling to the right, inhaling, exhaling to the left, inhaling, lower exhale, shoulder roll, and rotate. Full length of the spine. We should be ready to face the day. Well done. Thank you very much indeed. Come on in.